So anyway, we're going to talk about the wholesale industry in the digital age. So the new business models around the cloud for service providers. And while kicking off, we have a lot of things to do. We have 45 minutes, so we'll get on rolling with this show here. I want to give quickly the word to everybody to get an introduction. And Shalash, if I may ask you to start a quick introduction of you and your company. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Shailesh. I'm part of China Mobile, heading the carrier business for Middle East and North Africa. China Mobile, of course, provides the traditional wholesale services, but we are working on IoT, cloud, and 5G services to bring as carrier wholesale to all the MNO and partners like yourself. Thank you.
Thank you, Shailesh. We'll go to Ben. It's on.
It was coming. G'day everyone, I'm Ben from OneCode. We're a next generation low latency carrier and infrastructure service provider. We mostly focus on building low latency backbone links between major population centers to support the real-time side of the internet. So think video games, collaboration tools, trading, that sort of stuff.
Thank you, Maxime.
Yeah, good morning, everyone. So I'm Maxime Akin. I'm responsible for, I'm from Moscow, based in Moscow, and I'm responsible for international wholesale business in Telecom. And also I have another position where I'm CEO of Atlas Infrastructure Company. So yeah, so talk about later.
Thank you so much. And last but not least, the birthday boy, Halim.
Thank you. Good morning, everyone. My name is Salman Mazroui. I'm the General Manager of Wholesale Operations. So I look after project delivery, billing, and collection. I'm part of Amantel, who is incumbent operator in Oman, and we provide services as wholesale in terms of capacity, carrier, and roaming.
When we talk about the wholesale industry in digital age, we remember the pre-digital age when all of us used to travel to conferences and discuss voice and roaming rates. We still say those days were good golden days. Indeed, those days were good, but I think golden days are ahead of us. The digital age, as we see, is technology and it's agile management. The technology like computers, internet, cloud, AI, blockchain, everything put together has no sense until and unless it is clubbed with right business models, solutions, platforms, and they start using data as an asset. So today, I'm going to talk about 5G out of all these technologies that we work upon. Before we go to 5G, we must think what 4G has changed for us. 4G has put a 5-inch smartphone in everyone's hand. It has transformed the core networks of mobile operators from being voice-centric to becoming data-centric. And it has also connected the hyperscaler data centers from where the data flows through these networks to consumer hands. So 4G has actually created a whole lot of ecosystem of mobile service providers, smartphone platforms, application developers, OEMs, clouds, everything put together, and even the marketing business that rides on top of this using the consumer data. Now, when we talk about 5G, 5G is about higher speeds, lower latency, and more bandwidth, and more secure network. So 5G connections as of today are around 1 billion and are going to grow and reach to each one of us sooner. And 5G is going to make a direct contribution to GDP of the globe. The estimates say by 2030, over $600 billion will be the direct contribution of 5G to the global GDP. It will also create millions of jobs in coming future. What is there for telecom operators in regards to 5G? There are 3 verticals that we work upon, which is the consumer, enterprise, and network itself. So on the consumer side, there will be new revenues from mobile gaming, fixed wireless access, and immersive user experiences. On the enterprise side, it will be more solution-based, remote process management, industry automation, security, and all will bring new revenue avenues for all of us. On the network, 5G is going to consume lower energy compared to the networks that we have today. It will leave lesser carbon footprint. And also it will allow the network to be used in various ways, not like today or 4G or 3G, where the network is like one size fits all. When we talk about the use cases of 5G, there are three broad categories. The first one is EMBB, Enhanced Mobile Broadband. It is more about speeds up to 10 gigabits per second. And these will find use cases like live video streaming, mobile gaming, and HD videos. The other one is URLLC, which is ultra reliable, low latency communication. It is more about reliability of around 99.99%. The latencies are very low, around 1 millisecond, although the data speeds required may be slower. So these will be the cases of Internet of Vehicles, autonomous vehicles, and smart industries. The third one here is MMTC, which is massive machine type communication. This is high density IoT devices of the tone of around 1 million per square kilometer. These will find use cases like smart homes and smart communities. So what is China Mobile? China Mobile has around 1/3 of global 5G subscribers today. We stand around 330 million. We serve them in China with our 1 million over BTSs. And we also have small, medium, and large enterprises over 10,000, where we have provided end-to-end solutions for 5G. These use cases fall in various categories, from transportation, healthcare, energy, smart buildings, campuses, UAVs, air to ground, finance, and much more. We call our services as 5G+. So 5G network as standalone, be it private or public, has to be cloud with certain platforms and solutions to be able to reach to the customers. So we have our 9 ones, which are the 9 platforms CMI has developed to put together with the 5G network and serve our customers. So we serve our customers with 5G plus smart port solutions, smart campuses, smart communities, apartments, UAV solutions, and industry automation. There are various 5G solutions that we have deployed in small and medium, but I'm taking a case of 5G plus smart port today because it covers all the 3 verticals that we spoke about: EMBB, URLLCC, and MMTC. So on a port, the conditions are harsh. The worker, it's a very laborious work. And to maintain the tally of containers, to move the containers to and from the ship, and to mobilize them all across the port, to maintain the security and safety of workers is a concern for all the port operators. So in this solution, 5G+, we automate all the container tally management through IoTs. We also have unmanned vehicles taking the containers across the port. And also cranes can be operated from the comfort of the operation centers remotely instead of sitting on the crane. Security surveillance, UAV solutions, all put together is a 5G smart port. We have deployed multiple cases in China, and we are working on a few cases globally. And hopefully by the next time we speak, we are able to announce those smart ports that we do globally. So China Mobile International is available for you. We provide consultancy services to evaluate the market, what kind of solutions can go in the market. We also have end-to-end solutions that we bring from China use cases, which are very successful to you, which can be brought to your market. And we are also working in various markets where we want to penetrate with these solutions to have our O&M partners to support us after the services are deployed. So thank you so much for listening to me, and we look forward to working with you guys on 5G solutions in the near future.
Thank you, Shailesh, and sharing this insightful keynote presentation. So thank you for that, and thank you for to China Mobile International CMI. I'm just looking at the people if they have any questions. Come on, guys, you can do this. You have questions. You were too clear. Everybody understood your 5G proposition to the market. So, but anyway, if you have questions for Shailesh, he is around today, right? So you can answer any questions they might come up with, right? Okay, so let's move on. And having the gentleman here next to me, we'll just move ahead. Wholesale industry in the digital age, the new business models around the cloud for service providers. So if I may start with you, Salam. We talk about digital transformation and the impact it has on the traditional carrier business models. What can you share with the audience? Well, what are we talking about? What should we look out for? Is there anything new? What is, from a Mantel point of view, what do you see in the, let's say, happening to the traditional business models? Are they changing? What do you see around you?
So basically, if you look at Oman, there's a big shift towards the cloud. You know, a lot of the enterprise, even the telcos, are moving to cloud, and that's now accelerating because when COVID came, you know, it made everyone had to basically accommodate with the situation that was there. So one example was the education industry. So the education industry needed to adopt online education, and during that period, we enabled the Ministry of Education to use Google Classroom within a span of 10 days. So again, it's all about now how fast you adapt and to move to the cloud. And telecommunication is becoming critical because now you have to have connectivity to utilize these services.
Thank you so much. Maxime, any word on that? What do you see around you? Looking at the digital transformation and about the landscape we're in, what's happening to the models? What's changing?
So, yeah, definitely digital transformation is nothing new at all. Yeah, so we just live in this. It's an endless transformation and which never transformed to anything. It's just a way of life, more or less. Yeah, let's be fair with each other, and definitely as I'm coming from classical wholesale industry, and now
I call it old school.
yes, but yeah, we definitely try not to be an old school, but actually, you know, anyway, we need to combine the old school and new school and so on and so forth. Yeah, I would like to share some thoughts about about my observation of what is happening and on the markets when it comes to combining the old humble physical infrastructure with these fireworks of new technologies, etc. Anything this information need to flow, need to be delivered from A to Z, right? And what I see from my point of view, that the trends of, if we're talking about the backbones, the submarine cables, may differ are different from region to region. That was the own place that OTTs start to drive big submarine projects, especially in transatlantic Pacific, etc. So Europe also. But what I see it was surprising to me when we started to participate in one of Asian consortiums submarine. Then it not necessarily that nowadays OTTs are very welcome in consortiums. That's from my point of view, that was like a discovery for me. So and didn't expect this to be so. And this is interesting proof that the classical model, which I think is right. Okay, there's no right and wrong, but still, it's interesting fact that this distribution of roles still remains in Asia much more than other parts of the world, because again, you do your beautiful services, OTTs, Thank you very much. Joy. And we do transportation, we do infrastructure, etc. That's an interesting thing, and it from my point of view, there's no signs this to be changed. So, and this is like example when some trend which is perceived as a global and as inevitable, not necessarily will develop in every market. This is one thing which is interesting. It definitely gives a chance to us as a carriers to keep the role in very positive way. Yes, because that's the main thing. It's value based, not based on some stations, some regulation, etc. And of course, based on this principle, based on this fact, we need to be attractive. We need to be digital. Well, but anyway, so all those trends which comes from B2C, B2B, and definitely need to be landed in B2O. I'm talking about automation, service automation. Of course, wholesale was always, hello, just, hey, do you see the light? Yes, I see. Because, like a big pipes deserves attention and manual work, but still now we need to be much more flexible, faster, more reliable, and the keyword is flexible, because the big pipes, big traffic needs also flexibility, and business needs flexibility. Definitely, Ben will here to say about what it means flexibility for his business. That's my take of this combination of the classical, as you say, boring classical models and the new demands here.
Well, I was talking about old school. It's just because of my age. That's all. Why are you laughing? Why are you laughing? It was not funny, by the way. Anyway, that's the bingo table. So Ben, Maxime was already referring to you with regards to flexibility. So, what enlighten us? What's happening?
I guess, OneCode, we're a very young carrier. We're only founded in late 2019. So in the grand scheme of things, we're one of the baby carriers when it comes. And just to riff even on what he said earlier, which is that we work heavily in Asia Pacific, and we are seeing that a lot, that the roles are sort of getting reversed. Like, we generally dabble in carrier to carrier business. We take out capacity on submarine cables and sell them to tier 2s. But we're seeing more and more large enterprise customers, especially from OTTs, video gaming, broadcast. They're getting sick of using their regional carrier, and they're just jumping the hurdle and going straight to the carrier in the place they want to be, and then going straight to the wholesale team and buying like 100G, which would never have been done even 5 years ago. Like that, you wouldn't do it. And then on the flexibility front, you're right. We actually did have a discussion yesterday about how we're looking for some flexible links. So generally, I think we are an awful customer because we generally only sign 12-month contracts with everyone. So everyone's always shaking their head at me going, why are you only buying 12 months?
You're a tough cookie, right?
Yeah. So we operate our own transport platform, and we generally go 12-month rolling contracts because in our forecasts, the cost of backbone capacity is falling double-digit percentages year on year. So
I'll have a surprise for you. We'll just put it up in the whole world. We just raised it 100%.
Good luck. Yeah. So on the flexibility front, because we deal with low latency, we like to buy everything separate and then stitch it together ourselves, which makes us very different to the typical customer who just wants an all-in-one solution. We like to control every little moving piece in the puzzle so that we can provide the best solution down to our customers who are incredibly demanding.
And you like that because you're the chief architect there.
Look, it'd be way easier if I could just call one company and say, just give me this, and then I can go back to bed. But
it would be nice, right?
It would be wonderful. Yeah. Instead of 35 whiteboards in my office trying to stitch together all the moving parts.
No, you're right. So thank you so much. So Shailesh, I mean, we just heard you on especially on 5G. If you could pick one thing, let's say, especially on the 5G, where do you see the biggest transformation for us? You mentioned consumers. It will be, a huge impact. But if you could pick out one thing, where what it would have the impact on the traditional carrier business models.
So I'll pick up 2 points on 5G. The first one is like the leaders in 5G, there will be always some operators ahead and some following up. So the operators who are implementing 5G solutions in their networks would have tested and be ready with certain solutions. So they can become the learning centers, or they can bring these solutions as wholesale to the operators who are following the lead. The second model on the wholesale could be that the carriers start setting up test labs or excellence centers where they test their own solutions and make it ready for the customer and start wholesaling in the market. So these are the two key models that I see if the operators or wholesalers like ourselves want to move and provide these services in the wholesale landscape.
You know what just happened? He just asked me a question that he's curious. So ask the question. Ask the question.
I'm just curious to know, having worked in telco as a consulting architect for years, are you seeing the models change with 5G for how you're wholesaling access compared to, say, 4G to other carriers? Because what we're seeing in Asia especially is a lot of countries are going to a shared infrastructure model with Open RAN, whereby there's just one tower system and everyone is sharing those towers. Do you think that will change the way the wholesale models work in 5G compared to, say, when we had 4 or 5 networks in 4G?
I mean, of course, sharing towers and infrastructure on the RAN side is going to impact certain allocation of bandwidth for the public 5G solutions, which are mostly impacting the consumers or small enterprises. But the bigger enterprises or the medium ones would require still a private 5G network to automate their industries or large operations. For that, I think the sharing model may not be there. And there is a possibility not only the operators, most countries going forward, and I'm seeing some countries who are giving licenses to enterprises to operate private 5G networks in parallel to the operators. So that's the way I look at it.
Thank you. I was just curious. Yeah, the licensing is very interesting because it means a company can now go, I don't want to buy from you. I'm just going to build my own.
I'm going to leave, by the way. You take over?
Oh, no, no.
Okay.
It's all yours.
That was also not funny. Kidding. Salim, being a big global operator like Omantel is, what do you see are the new opportunities and challenges emerging from data products and services? What are the big ticket items for you guys? What do you see?
Okay. So from my perspective, I look at the infrastructure part. So look at data. Data is growing almost 30% year on year, and fortunately, your revenue is not growing at that same rate. Yeah. So
Because of him, it's his fault.
So where is Johannes? He's left.
Yeah, that's why I asked the question, because I dared.
So for us, of course, when it comes to infrastructure, it's now all about lowering the cost per bit. When you look at your assets, you have fiber assets that you need to maximize the use of it. If you look at Oman, for example, we've been talking about connecting Muscat to Salalah for the new data centers. So that's almost 1,000 kilometers. So you cannot lay new fibers. You have to utilize existing assets that you have. Yeah. So it's all about now making use of new technologies that will give you more spectrum on your fiber. When it comes to IP connectivity, it's also about increasing your port density. So you need more capacity. Now, 4 years ago, we just started using 100 gigs. Today, 100 gigs is basically a standard that you need across. So you need more port density when it comes to 100 gig capacity, and of course 400 gig, which will probably be utilized in the next 2 years or so. Yeah. So for us, it's all about making sure that we have the infrastructure ready to accommodate the customer, the capacity requirements. Yeah. And there's an additional challenge on top, and that is the delivery timelines. Vendors now, all the minimum delivery timelines you're looking at is 6 to 8 months. Yeah. So again, that's an additional challenge that we have to make sure that we plan ahead for our infrastructure.
Okay, thank you. You want to jump in, guys? Maxime?
Yeah, so maybe I wanted to add a little bit about yes, we're talking about business model, yeah, and it's also about product. What we see is another again, I'm just sharing my observations today. So that two trends, first of all, the OTTs goes up the stack, for more applications, and then now, okay, so it's like mail and now so just documents and so on and so forth, just an example. But at the same time, sometimes also the infrastructure companies or telecom companies become an infrastructure. So we go sometimes down the stack, yeah. So and just to sell, and then another interesting trend is that which is seem to be contradictory to where market develops, but in terrestrial parts of the world, I'm from terrestrial parts of the world, definitely, also Europe, Central, Western. The new model is considered to be like a selling infrastructure, the physical. These are another trend that OTT goes up. Sometimes carrier goes down to structure like fibers, like spectrum. And just an example, as I mentioned in my introduction, so I'm sharing two roles. One role is wholesale director in incumbent carrier. Another role is CEO of Atlas, and Atlas doesn't have even telecom license. It's just like, yeah, real estate company. Fibers, space and power, and actually this is what actually market needs, because sooner or later, so, you use 100 Gs, 200 Gs, 400 G waves, but sooner or later your fiber will end. Time-wise and technology-wise also.
Okay, thank you. Now, moving on, and Shailesh, you were talking about, let's say, all the acronyms we hear in the market. I just missed the UCAS and the CPAS on top of that. But having it talking about the acronyms, what do you think that from your perspective, AI and or let's start with IoT, the IoT and maybe later on the AI, well, what kind of impact will it have for, let's say, the wholesale business models?
When we talk about IoT, I will say that, we used to be telecom, and right now we see that the gap between IT and telecom is narrowing down. And IoT is one such enabler which can bring all the fixed assets online through software. So this is an area in which a lot of data flow is going to happen back and forth nationally and internationally. So that is one area we see. On AI in particular, of course, AI is an algorithm that tries to modify itself based on the data it collects from various sources. So this will also encourage a lot of data flow inside the national and international networks. So that's how I see. And in particular, AI, of course, when it goes into the digital infrastructure of telecom operators, possibly can go into costing, pricing, and automated agreement negotiations, and various functions can be taken over by this, which will help wholesale to bounce on this platform to get to the new technologies.
Okay, thank you. Salim, anything to add?
When it comes to artificial intelligence, the way I see it, it's a solution that you use to become more efficient. So, like traffic analysis is an example. In terms of also automating the processes, as wholesale, we are very much. We've started our journey in terms of automation 2 years ago. So again, we were very much dependent on the regular activities like using Excel, share folders, and so forth. So again, automation will also will play part when it comes to the processes that we use from sales up to the billing process.
Okay, thank you. Shailesh, you were talking about the algorithms in AI, but Maxime, if I may throw you a curveball on blockchain.
Okay, so interesting word popped up.
Is
all of a sudden, yeah.
crypto and cryptocurrency Is that blockchain? Yes or no?
For me, definitely not when it comes to, how to say, it's another contradiction. So I'm talking about contradictions today. Interesting. So the contradiction number one is that, so blockchain is, I don't know, it doesn't associate associated with the it's a cash. Okay, the cash is cash with all ups and pros and cons of this instrument. Of course, everybody loves cash, but I'm talking about telecom. I think that the blockchain technology as technology as approach and a platform has a bright future. So in very good sense, because nowadays we experience interesting facts that first of all, absolutely 100% right thought is that telecommunication is very legitimate business, yeah, regardless everything, everywhere, etc. Fortunately, the majority of people became professional, and actually all the telecom transactions are also legitimate. But right now, so what we see, not only recently, but also for quite some time, so the combination of this legitimate transaction and quite maybe inherited settlement schemes brings some burden to those who is just for legitimate transaction to go. Yeah, so that's why I truly believe that the vertical blockchain-based platforms, again, not talking about blockchain. Blockchain is a very good example of the technology itself, of reliability instrument of make sure this, we have proof of something. But I'm talking about the legitimate transactions to have a chance to be seamlessly, faster, and reliably to be processed. Yeah, that's a key. And another thing is that if we talk about the proof of something, that our burden, so as a telecom operator, is a fraud, right? I'm sure that once the telecommunication vertical blockchain solution will start to be deployed, will start to be adopted by the more and more players, then also the fraud will be under pressure.
No, absolutely. Okay. Talking about fraud and security, let me broaden that a little bit, guys. Because as important surveillance and security and personal data privacy, I think we see some challenges there as well, right, Ben? What do you say? What can you share with us on that?
Well, I guess we have an interesting perspective at OneCode because we hold multiple carrier licenses in multiple jurisdictions, and our poor lawyers have to juggle that because we have customer data from different countries housed in different OneCode subsidiaries that we have to keep siloed away from each other and make sure that one government can't ask for data of another country's people, and it's a nightmare. But that's
a true nightmare.
It is a true nightmare. We had to recapitalize the whole company to the ultimate holding company in a neutral place so we could separate everything out. On the security front, I guess we are on the coalface. So a lot of our customers are multiplayer video games. So the word DDoS comes up, and you start realizing that on a constant day, we're seeing 900 to 1,000 attacks an hour across our network, attempting to take down servers. And when you
How many?
900 to 1,000 attacks an hour.
An hour.
An hour. Yeah, you don't want to buy. You don't want to sell me transit. It'll give you nightmares. So we especially see this in esports. So we actually recently had last year we had a qualifier between a Russian team and a Singaporean team, and there was gambling involved. And of course, they tried desperately to DDoS our network down so they could affect the outcome of the match to win their money. So with the rise of esports becoming like a sport now, we just saw a major event early this year in Dubai where the winning team took home $30 million to play a computer game. Or the event 2 weekends ago in Singapore where the winning team took home 50 million US. We're seeing more and more of these really high-level esports events, which is in turn causing our customers to ask for more and more increased security. So on the sort of AI front, we have a learning system on our DDoS system. So it's actually constantly learning traffic patterns. And we're down to a 50 millisecond response time to an attack on our network now.
Can we soak this in? Because those are numbers, right?
Yeah.
It's serious. It's
Yeah.
serious.
So I don't think I think only Cloudflare and other guys are dealing with this as much as we are.
Wow.
It's, yeah.
Amazing. Amazing. Gentlemen, coming a bit to the end, because I think there are still a zillion topics to discuss, so we can do this. What I would like to invite you all to give me your closing statement. Look into your glass bowl. What can we expect? What's out there? What should we look out for? Maybe Shailesh, if you want to start.
Yeah, sure. I mean, of course, this has been a very interesting discussion. I will say, I mean, as of today, the organizations have a lot of departmental silos. And as telecom operators, we don't take a lot of risk. So with these technologies, I think the organizations have to work like startups more and be open to taking some calculated risks with these technologies so that we create new avenues for revenue from our markets. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Willem?
I'm not getting my birthday cake.
He still needs to dance, right? Maybe later on.
So thank you for the discussion. I think it's been very fruitful. From my perspective, I see, we talked about data hungry products, but I see more about latency sensitive, interactive applications, and gaming is one of the industries, that I see there's a huge potential. We're talking about, augmented reality, virtual reality. Now they're even talking about mixed reality sort of, technologies. And so for me, I see there's a good potential for the future when it comes to the gaming industry to complement the digital growth in the region. Those are my closing thoughts.
Okay, thank you so much. Maxime?
I do hope that the world will continue to deploy this open and professional approach. I have no doubt that our professionals
Everything open access?
Yeah.
Everything open access? Not everything, right?
Open access, yeah. Open mice, better say. Open mice much better than open access.
There you go.
You know what I mean? Anyway, really, so I grew up in this the romantic atmosphere of growing internet, booming and experiences of the people, etc. I desperately wish this to continue and to be balanced and to be again. So we are the industry which is the mostly human oriented. Yeah. So and I truly believe it will be so going forward. And down to physical expectations, I'm pretty sure that infrastructure investments will grow soon, because post-pandemic and pandemic and post-pandemic investment appetite in terms of infrastructure globally in the local markets are not yet way far from the peaks of 10 years ago or something. Yeah, I'm sure that the world needs more infrastructure, the countries need more connectivity, etc., and it will continue. And as I mentioned, the new approaches and new business models, I do hope that the companies, including my company, will find the way to use and the resources to develop this automation and the agile approaches, even taking account that we're in classical business. And also, as I mentioned, I'm becoming a big fan of this future technologies of blockchain, because if 2-3 years ago it was like a great idea, now we have practical platforms, real companies, and I do hope that we will start deploying and start looking for opportunities to altogether. So find a way how to optimize our transaction settlements, etc. Because based on my experiences, yesterday I was asking people from company, etc. Everybody's aware what is it about. Everybody's aware, educated people, etc. None of the companies even considering, even approaching those platforms. I do hope that will be very soon. We will start gaining benefits for ourselves, for our companies.
Okay, thank you. Last famous words, Ben?
I don't know if they're famous. Yeah, I guess I'll just riff on what everyone said. So I do agree that carriers need to take more risks and maybe break out of the model a bit. For some perspective of one of our business verticals in Asia alone, multiplayer video gaming will make $200 billion revenue for its companies, which is more than movies, music, TV combined. So it is a massive growing industry. You are right. That's the way the internet's going. But it has an inverse effect because gaming doesn't use much data. It only cares about latency. Each user is only 190 kilobits, but every hop in that path makes the user cry. So it's a totally flip on the model. We don't need as much data, but we need straighter links. We need more fiber pairs because we need to separate that data out. So I am looking forward to working with many wholesale carriers and hopefully getting more open-minded approach to what we're doing.
24 months contracts, maybe?
18.
No.